Yeah, that's not what it looked like. It actually looked like this. Now, it didn't look that bad on video, you know, but we had to upgrade all of this. What's good, everybody? I'm Joseph, and welcome to Live Creatively, basically your one-stop shop for all your creative needs and also just living creatively in general. For more information, you can click right up there. So I have become a very big fan of these like office desk tour setups. I think I've seen like over 200 of these videos. I totally underestimated how long this took. I think this took anywhere from 3 to 4 months. I hope that this video gives you some ideas for your setup because I really like watching these things. So let's hop in to see where the magic.
This is where the magic happens.
Where the magic does not happen.
That's where the magic happens.
MTV Cribs reference. Yeah, I'm old. It is what it is. So a couple of general things about the space. I'm sure you're thinking, bro, you don't need that many desks. It's not that serious. Well, they all serve different purposes, all right? So this battle station right here is the editing spot. Anything content creation related is done over there. And then on this side is the inspiration side / practice side, sound design stuff over here. And then on this side is more the production, recording, laying down tracks, all that kind of good stuff. But before we get into the battle station, yes, I just did finger guns. I have this wall here. It is like 3D panels. I think it costed maybe like 150 bucks for all this to be able to cover it all. A lot of people were putting them up with liquid nails. And I said, nah, dog, I'm not gonna do that. That is gonna be a pain. And they're all held up with command strips. And I really do love the way that it looks. I love that it has some texture. So whenever you see the lights, you can actually see it kind of bending on that. And I decided to go ahead and put some prints up. I was looking online, bro, these things are so expensive, like $300 for each one of these. I didn't pay that. So what I did is I went to Home Depot. Not Home Depot. I went to Office Depot and I actually ordered these prints, and these prints were actually, I think, like 30 or 40 bucks. And those are actually 2 foot by 3 foot prints. Then I went to Hobby Lobby, grabbed some frames. I think they were like 20 bucks. So in total, cost me about 50 bucks just to frame these bad boys up. So not a bad investment. And a quick review of them. If you have any dark underexposed type of images, don't do it. But if you have something that is well exposed, it'll be okay. You don't really notice it on this one because there's a lot more white on it, but on this one, it is very hard to see everything just because the blacks in that ink, it just doesn't do the job. So in the future, if you need something that is cheap, Office Depot, you can get it for like 30 bucks. Everything in this office is smart as far as lighting is concerned, like the key light, as well as all the lights and the colors and all that good stuff. But ain't nobody want to be talking to a machine, bro. So basically, the secret is in this smart sensor that I have over here. So anytime I just walk into the space, everything just turns on, which is kind of nice. This color / lighting thing, by the way, is not typically how this is. I basically just did it for the thumbnail because it caught a lot more attention, but I can pretty much switch up with any kind of style that I want, right? You can go with that basic orange type of thing. I really like that style. Or you can do the Spider-Man thing, which is typically how it looks in here. You guys ever just like go up to a spider and just like let it bite you and then just to always check? You never know is all I'm saying. Speaking of lighting, I also have these lamps up there. They're actually battery powered and they're magnetized up there. So there's no wiring on it. I just got those to shine a little bit more on the prints. I really don't like them. Typically I have my key light over there in the corner, but here's the thing about those key lights, man. I really got tired of having the big old softbox with the C-stand. They're bulky, too much room. I just didn't like it. So I was actually watching Jake Weiser's office setup video, and then he had a key light that was actually thin, this like small profile. I was like, dude, I gotta get my hands on one of those.
Oh, I gotta get me one of those.
I don't think this is the exact one that he has on his videos, but it is something that was similar to it. So this is the Falconized SO28TD. It is bicolor, can be powered by a battery, or it can be with a cable like I have it right now, but it's a small profile. This is what I wanted. By the way, Jake, going down to Smash Brothers, bro. I'm nice with it, bro. Serum. Everybody going down. So back to lighting, all the LED strips that you see in here were made by Grovemade. They have worked great except the ceiling lights. And I'll be honest, I'm actually very disappointed with how they came out. Let me get my gripes like out of the way real quick. First of all, I did a lot of research on these diffusers that I have up, but they didn't work as advertised. There's all these hot spots and I hate seeing them. Maybe on camera, you can't see it as much, but when you're in here, you can actually, can you imagine if all just like showed up in here? If you see it in person, there's a lot of hotspots on it. So in the event that you're going to get some like this and make it like one nice line type of thing, I suggest you get cob lighting. That is what you need. Don't get this stuff. For some reason, the lights that are on my desk and what is in the ceiling don't match up color temperature wise and even color wise. I have to go in it and manually change it to be able to get it to line up, but it's the same brand. Maybe it's because it's a 60-foot one that goes around. I don't know, but it doesn't line up. But the good thing about the Govee app and these lights is that all I have to do is just do it one time, because you can save like scenes and then it basically changes everything. And everything in here is RGBIC. Fun fact, that means that you can actually control certain sections. You can't do it by individual diodes, but you can get certain sections and color them differently. It took me a while to figure that out. The more you know. And so now we have this battle station over here, which is where I keep my Yamaha MX88. I love this board, love the sounds that are on it. I come over here just whenever I'm feeling inspired and want to play something. I need to be able to turn it on like that just to get something out. Or if I need to practice for a gig or make any kind of sounds, this is where I am doing that. And right above it, you can't ignore it. This is where I have my NAND lights. This is kind of where I keep them. I don't have them always on, but you know, for special occasions when people come into the crib, you know what I'm saying? When y'all come in, I'm gonna turn them bad boys on, you know what I'm saying? But when I'm in here, I'll probably shut them off. Not true. I keep them on. I really do. I keep them on. That's probably not safe. Over here, I have like my charging station. So it's basically just MPF batteries, AAA, AA batteries, your Sony batteries. And if I need to charge anything else, I have USB-C stuff all just hanging out. The only thing is that if you want to make it look really clean, it takes a lot of time, but also you're going to have to put some 2x4s behind it to be able to hide the cables back there because there's not enough room the way that it comes. So yeah, not my best work, but eventually I probably will clean that up. Welcome to the music corner. So at church, for example, I am the music director. So this is where I hang out, put everything into Ableton, making sure that all the click and cues and lighting, as well as what the musicians are playing and all that kind of good stuff. Like there's this one song called Let Go by Hillsong Young and Free. And I decided to mash that up with clarity, like thing. It sounded kind of like
like that.
Anyway, so back in the day, I actually had like a little corner of my desk for all this music stuff, and so it was a pain. I didn't have a place for my board. It was just, it was annoying. So I ended up having to switch it up because I didn't have enough space. So I went with this desk from Amazon. I actually didn't order this. I thought that I was getting like a white one, but they ended up sending this, which was carbon fiber. And you know, the car guy in me, Fast and Furious, is it? You know, like it was, I loved it. So I decided not to say anything, and I kept it. That is unethical. I was looking into some studio desks, but those are way too expensive. So I decided to just be smart about it and started searching for like keyboard and mouse tray. And basically I looked for one that was so big to where it could actually fit my board right under here, which is an Ovation launch key. I love this thing. It works plug and play. It does what it has to do. I don't have a dock or a hub on this side. I decided to plug everything directly into this Mac. I believe it's a MacBook Pro 2018 or 2019. I'll have to double check that in the editing room. I also have this monitor up here. It is LG. It is not 4K. It is just 1080. And we'll get into cable management later, but everything is plugged directly into that bad boy. Have had zero issues. And of course, I have my Keyboard King sign in the best color in the world. I also have some RGBIC LED lights that are all the way around the desk. So what's so special about that is because I wanted to have just one strip to be able to control the lighting on the bottom of the desk and then going up higher and even to what is on the speakers. And then on this side, I have a cheap Amazon base just because I use everything digitally. So that's just for show. But that right there, that's my baby girl right there. That is my Ibanez Gem Jr. I love that thing. Hate the floating bridge. If you play guitar, you know. Speaking of guitars, I actually have my pedal board right down here. All right, so let's talk about the pedal board. I actually use this for my guitar as well as my keys. No one has actually done this online, and so I had to figure it out myself, which I should make a tutorial on that, but anyway. But if there's one thing about pedals is that pedals are really big on cable management, and they always actually show the cables, but they're just very well pristine condition. So I decided to rip that concept and do that on the desk.
So over the years, I bought a lot of kits for like cable management and stuff. And so these are just some that I had lying around. Basically, this just holds the cable. Like I can actually move it if I want to. And it sticks with M3 tape. M3? No, it's not a car. It's not BMW. I decided to get some red braided cables and just kind of run them nice and neatly under. And then everything is hidden in the back behind this little black thing. I didn't put that on there. That's actually how the desk came. So it actually works. And then I have these speakers over here. These are actually just given to me. I don't even know what they are. They're just some cheap things, but they do the job. I just need to be able to hear it. I don't really do any mixing here, but if I do, I'll probably just pull these bad boys out. These are the Sony XM4s over ear. I also have the Buds version. I really like them. These have been workhorses. Of course, I have like a red 1/4-inch cable here just because I like red, if you haven't noticed. These are some 1964. These are 4 drivers. These right here. I love these things. If I really do gotta get dirty with it and really listen to everything, I'll probably just use my in-ears here. Those are custom molded to your ear. Definitely an investment, but it's more for like live performing and stuff like that because it pushes a lot of sound. They sound amazing. But enough of the music side. Now we can come over here to the editing side, and this is where things actually get a lot better. As you can see, this is a sit stand desk. I got this from Flexispot. This is the E5. I really do like this desk. It is a big boy. This thing is around 6 feet wide, and I think it's around 30 inches deep. I really wanted a big desk because the last one just wasn't cutting it for me. Like I said, I was just stuck in that little corner, so I don't like clutter, as if every other office desk tour person hasn't said that, but you already know how it goes. It has the presets over here. You can raise it up, you can lower it down. It has like different profiles up to 3, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it does have 3. I got 3. I got the number 3 over there. So I notice a lot of people do the whole thing where they use like the legs from like a sit stand like desk company, and then they get like an IKEA desk or something on top to put it together. I didn't want to do that. I'd rather just have something that comes together. I don't like having to deal with different pieces and bars. And I decided to do that with Flexispot. They actually sent me this desk as well. But the thing that sucked is once it did arrive, it had a hole in it. Not a hole, but like a big old dent in it. And I was like, man, I really need to get this video done. I was like, I'm not going to say anything, is because I knew that I was going to get a big old desk mat that was going to cover pretty much the entire thing. So Grovemade actually came in clutch, and they sent this entire desk mat, which actually covers the little dent that it had. So I wasn't tripping about it. I'm not gonna be able to see it. It doesn't bother me. It's in the back corner. I was just like, I really don't care. The desk treated me well. As soon as you pick this thing up, you will realize, dude, you're not playing any games. This thing got some weight to it, and its build quality is solid. As you can see, I have a lot of weight on this bad boy, so I haven't really had any issues. So I've really enjoyed it, man. It was pretty easy to put together. A couple of cables, bada bing, bada boom, and you're set. I'll sometimes eat here, or I'll have my tablet out doing some sketches. Just like a lot of stuff in this office, everything was sketched out to begin with. I actually sent all the measurements to my cousin, who is an architect, and just to make sure that everything would fit in here like it's supposed to, as well as measuring all the screens and everything like that, just to make sure that everything would work, as well as like the cables, how to write down, make sure everything would reach to where it's gonna go, because cable management is not a game. I was thinking about doing another one of these on my music side, but then I realized, I was like, dang, man, this stuff gets kind of expensive. And I realized something, that Flexispot is actually one of the more affordable brands, and it gives you good quality. So if you are interested or in the market for getting a desk, hey man, they doing it right. All right, now let's get into the tech of all of this. Everything is powered by this M1 Max. I think I have 64 gigs of RAM on that bad boy. I did want to be able to do just one cable to connect and power all of this stuff. However, the one that I bought was from Anker, and apparently it has to be 2 4K displays, not one that's 1080 and 4K. I haven't really messed with it, so if you're on the market to get a hub or a dock, make sure that your screens are both 1080 or 4K, because now I actually have to have one cable to power everything else and then one other HDMI. So it's not bad. You don't really see it, but I know it's there. So there's that. Next thing is my monitors. I have 2 LG monitors over here. This is an IPS display. This is 4K. This is where we do all the coloring and everything like that. So we had to throw down a little bit of money. Can't forget about the monitor that is tilted on its side. You know, cello, now you got a bass.
You tip it on the side, cello, you've got a bass.
School of Rock. Yes, yes, thank you. You're a real one. You knew about that. I saw this from Landon, by the way, that he had done it. Dude, I have to do that. This one is actually sitting sitting on a desk mounted arm so that it is actually kind of floating on there. And then this one over here is actually just sitting straight onto the floor. So typically I have my Spotify down here, then like a web browser or my notes, things that I'm following like a script, and then I have my messages up top. So it is slightly outside of my line of sight, so I really don't pay attention too much of it. I actually have to make constant work to look at it. So the main workhorse is this. And this one, my laptop screen, is typically just hanging out over there. I rarely actually use it, maybe just for my calendar or something like that. I guess I got used to it because I didn't always have dual monitors. We have our Yamaha HS5s over here. I love these. My brother-in-law is actually a professional sound engineer. He has mixed for like Kings of Leon and some other people like that. So I decided to ask him, hey, what should I get? And he said, get these. And I said, and so I got them. Love them. They're sitting on these little like riser things. I think it was like 15 bucks. It's literally just expensive styrofoam. Those are all being connected by a Scarlett 2x2. I know, I'm basic. It is what it is, but it's very affordable. So I decided to go with that. Let me take you down real quick because we're talking about cable management. One thing that I do want to call out though, I got this from my boy Say Park. He did a whole thing on cable management and all that stuff. Get yourself some pouches and then separate them all out so you can all have them in one place. This has been a game changer. So take the time, get all your cables, organize them. It will make a difference. I also have these file cabinets on the side just for some extra storage. What was so tough for me to figure out as I watched a whole bunch of these office setups and stuff like that, in the sense that we are using so many SSDs like all the time. Every SSD is for a certain client or a certain project. And I really needed something to where I can have access to them, but not have it be all cluttering the desk like I had before, because that was scary. What is this, bro? I made this drawer out of the extra kitchen handles that I had lying around, as well as this little tray that I got from Amazon. And I have all of my SSDs. I really didn't want to see these. Originally, the plan was to actually have these go into a cabinet that I have on the side here on the desk, like just drill a hole in the back. But then the desk wouldn't be able to go up and down. So I decided to make my own drawer and stick it in there, and it does the job. Inside of my little drawer, I have a USB hub that is actually connecting all the SSDs, and then one cable that's coming out. This is where the desktop setup is where that really comes in, which that was actually sent to me by Grovemade. Very high-end products. That one actually came with like a dent on the side. I hit up Grovemade. They said, yeah, man, we'll fix it. The reason why I did reach out to them is because it was actually on the front-facing side. If it was on the back-facing side, I wouldn't care. They were nice enough to send me another tabletop. It has a little built-in shelf here. I love that that's there. That's typically where my tablet lived. I actually threw away the legs on accident. Those are just made out of hardcore styrofoam. That's kind of how it feels. But I was just really confused that that's what it was. But apparently that styrofoam stuff is actually really good because I have had zero problems, no flexing, no changing anything at all. They also sent me out this desk mat over here. I actually got two of those bad boys. One is over here, which is the Big Daddy, and then on the other side on my music setup. So if you are interested in Grovemade, I'll leave a link down there, man. That is some solid piece of work right there. Look closer, bro, because like I'm really proud of this. If you look at the back, it is not the cleanest, but I don't really need it to be clean back there. I just need it to be clean up here. So I bought these things right here. I think it's Jordan Pulmano, whatever his name is. That's my boy. Not really. I think we DM once, but he actually had these on his desk tour setup thing. He has a really clean setup. I suggest you check it out. He has a lot of good stuff in there as well. But basically, he had these things to be able to cover it up, and it makes it look like part of the desk. So that is how I did it for both the music side as well as the editing side. This is where I'm gonna geek out like really big time, so please bear with me. Control surfaces. Bro, if you do not have a Stream Deck, stop what you're doing, go and get one. I'm not sponsoring this thing. It's just that good. Stream Decks are not just for streamers or gamers or anything like that. I use this thing purely for content creation stuff. There is a learning curve to be able to get this thing up and running, but once you have it up and running, dude, you will not want to travel without it. I'm not just talking about pressing a button to launch a certain website or play and pause Spotify. The way that I use it, I actually have one button that sets up a screen recording to record the audio and the video of anything that is on my screen. And for someone like me that is throwing out so many movie references, I got to be able to do that very fast. And I also have one button that sets up everything, puts it in the right corner, opens everything. Whenever I'm ready to get started on working, it does it all by itself. But the thing where it gets really cool is whenever you throw it into an editing program. So I actually have it set up to where I can color code all of my clips by the click of a single button in whatever color that I want. But let me tell you this, don't you hate it whenever you have your memory card and you pop it in and then you gotta pull up one finder and then pull up another finder to be able to move it into where you need it to be? So I just hit that button and both of them pop up so I can just copy and paste very quickly. I also have one button that opens up all my creative websites at one time. So even if that's slightly interested to you, let me know and maybe I'll make a video specifically just for all of that. On to the next one is this thing. I had no idea how powerful control surfaces were. I thought that they were so geeky and keyboard shortcuts do the same thing. Not true, man. Torbox sent this out to me a long time ago, but it took me so long to be able to get used to it. And I was like, man, I don't know. Now I can't live without this thing. It is wireless or it is wired as well. I have all my shortcuts set up on this thing to where saving, scrolling, moving through, unlinking things, in and out points, play, stop, different workspaces, delete, ripple delete. Everything is on this thing with one hand. This thing stopped working, we ain't making no videos, dog. Like it's done. Torbox, insane. I love this thing. And when it comes to keyboards and mouse, I am so basic like everyone else, but it's because it's so good. It is the MX Master 3S. I don't know what version they on, dog, but just get that one. And I almost forgot, in that same app, you can actually set up shortcuts for all these different buttons that they have customizable on here. I will not go to any other mouse. I know that sounds bougie, but I'm serious. That thing is so good. And on the topic of Logitech, I actually have a Logic K780, I think is what it's called. The reason why I got this is because I wanted to get a keyboard that felt as close to a Mac keyboard as possible. So anytime I got any other keyboard, I was just hitting so many typos, and as if autocorrect doesn't help me enough, I have so many shortcuts on that too, but that's something else. But this is the closest non-Apple product that feels just like an Apple keyboard. But the thing that is so good about this is that it's wired and also doesn't make a lot of noise. I'm sorry, guys. All you mechanical people out there, mechanical, as if there's people mechanically, only robots, dude, are on mechanical keyboard. All I'm trying to say is that I do not like mechanical keyboards. I'm sorry, no hate to all of you guys. You guys go get your brown switches, your blue switches. You do the colors of the rainbow, my guy, do you? But I'm just gonna hang out with one of these. Let me show you a very powerful trick on this thing. And no, it's not that I can set my phone here to be able to hold it up and connect to my phone and type on it. No. That's not it. All right, now check this out. You see this web browser that I'm moving around? I'm gonna do this in real time. I'm gonna kill this, right? That was with my left hand, and I'm gonna move all the way across and come over here and bam. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm moving now my mouse over here, and I can also type things in already. I don't know if you can see that. Ain't that cool? Come on, that's cool, right? Now remember, these are two separate computers that are powering this. So that's freaking awesome, right? When I had a Windows computer and still I wanted to be able to send messages on my Mac and AirDrop and all that stuff, I actually did this same thing. I've just been gatekeeping apparently. So the way this works is that this can connect to 3 different computers at the same time. Same goes for the keyboard. That's why it has these 3 white switches on the top. Why couldn't they be brown, eh? I'm just kidding. It's a joke. But the way that it works is as you move the mouse all the way across the screen, it will actually switch over to another computer in the way that you set it up. And then this automatically talks to it as well. So technically it's just changing Bluetooth signals, but you know, it just looks cooler whenever I just show you, you know what I mean? So, you know, it's a pimp decision.
Make a pimp decision.
I also have a DJI remote. It's not mine. It's actually Tyler's. He probably wants that back soon. But I practice in my FPV skills right now. This is the mic that I use for voiceovers as well as like boom stuff. This is an Audio-Technica. I don't know the details because I didn't buy it. It was actually given to me as a birthday gift. And then on the other side over here, I do have this blue mic. I just keep it up here because I think he looks cool. Fun tip for you guys. So on these blues, they have this awkward, it's actually called like a mini micro USB. These are the one cables that are actually really hard to get your hands on. And this right here is an adapter to go from USB-C all the way to this awkward micro USB garbage. So now this thing just lives on the back right here, and then everything else just USB-C. And so the day that Apple does that, I'm gonna be really excited. But until then, I actually have this cable. These are some high quality cables if you're willing to wait like 3 to 4 weeks for them to get to you. But the reason why I rave about this cable is because it is one cable, USB-C on one side, and then a lightning port as well as a USB-C on the other side. So now I can connect pretty much anything to this, and I really like it. And this thing feel like rubber, feel like a toy, and that's kind of nice to see. And it's red. You can see there's a theme here. So one last thing here, I want to say that I am truly blessed. God has truly blessed me to have the things that I have, but these are things that came up over time, being able to grow my business and doing all that kind of good stuff. For example, I didn't have those speakers until maybe a handful of months ago. Because I couldn't afford any good monitors, I was actually using JBL's like monitor computer speakers that I've had for maybe 15 years as a professional. I love the way Apple keyboards felt, but those are way too expensive. So I went with Logitech. So whatever it is that you want to invest in, then invest in it. And wherever you can cut back, then cut back. But regardless of it, I hope you live creatively, and we'll see you guys in the next one.